CARICOM leaders are urged to seek reparations and atonement from first world countries as they discuss the way forward for the COVID-19 response. The National Council on Public Transportation says its members are still awaiting the full details of the rescue package as it continues to seek dialogue with government. And the Police Welfare Association's president defends the shutdown of a call center. We have the details of these stories and more coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovelace and Amy Joseph.
Good night. It is Wednesday, the 15th of April, 2020. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. We're on Flow Channel 117. The broadcast is also being simulcast on Kiss FM Radio. I'm Lovely St. Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. People who have lost their jobs or are unable to earn a living due to COVID-19 are eager to access the assistance that was announced by Prime Minister Alan Shastny as part of the Social Stabilization Rescue Package. Temporary income support will be provided to NIC contributors and non-NIC contributors for a period of 3 months in the first instance. With respect to NIC contributors, a monthly payment relative to the salary will be paid between $500 and $1,500 will be offered for a period of 3 months in the first instance starting in April. Persons eligible for this program had to have paid contributions to the fund for at least 1 month prior to February 2020 and should have become unemployed as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. The individuals must also not have been in receipt of other benefits from the NIC. Now, facilitating applications from members of the public for this program has proved to be a challenge. The NIC's communications manager, McNaughton McLean, joined us on today's Coronavirus St. Lucia Response program. He indicated that the NIC is not presently able to accommodate the general public and that applications will be online. Let's listen.
Well, actually, Teddy, we have been trying to put things together in the back end to facilitate the online process. You would appreciate because of the partial shutdown and the protocols announced by the government to stop or slow the spread of COVID. Most things, the processes have, we've had to change a number of our processes, including online. So we had the electronic forms available from yesterday so that persons who qualify could go and apply for the economic relief program. However, the sheer volume of visitors to the site caused serious congestion and the site crashed. So we have pulled the form at the moment. We are now expanding our capacity. And we decided instead of trying to rush, because we were trying to rush to accommodate, because you understand people are sort of fearful now what's happening and people are anxious and they want to apply. And so we've decided to take the time and do it right. So the form will be on the website as soon as the expansion process is complete. We have taken the liberty of expanding so that we can accommodate the increased visitors. We have a sense of the numbers now based on what occurred yesterday, so we are expanding our capacity. In the interim, the forms will not be available either online or in hard copy. Now, this morning, we understand that one media establishment indicated to their listeners that the forms will be available, and we had a lot of people at the office. We really want people to just go online and complete the process online. We don't want people coming to the office. We simply cannot, and we cannot accommodate that. We cannot endanger the lives of the people, our staff. And so we're hoping that people will just follow. We will make all the announcements when the website is back up and running. Hopefully that'll be in a day or two.
Yeah. But not only the obvious question would be for persons who are not so tech savvy and with access or capacity for online transactions, what is the solution for them?
Well, the solution was for us to assist by placing forms. We reckon that some people will not have access or are not really tech savvy. But that has not worked out. So we'll take this on a case-by-case basis. As those who are able to, they will call in and we will walk them through the process and assist them as much as possible to ensure that they will get this. We also want to assure the public that there's ample time will be provided for the submission of the claims, and everyone who qualifies for the payment will receive the payment. And the first payment for this month, we are hoping to pay at the end of April. So we hope that people will understand there's no need to rush. As I've said to many, it's not a limited edition benefit. It's there, and the money will not run out. If you qualify, you will get it.
In other news, the heads of government for CARICOM member states convened on Wednesday for a virtual 9th special emergency meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of the Caribbean Community, CARICOM. President of the Ayanola Council for the Advancement of Rastafari, Aaron Alexander, is calling on the heads of government, in particular the chair of CARICOM and the Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Mottley, to use the opportunity to demand reparations and cancellation of debts for African and Caribbean countries who he says have long suffered under the hands of first world countries. Genevieve Gonzague reports.
On Sunday, 12 April, Chairperson for CARICOM and Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Mottley, announced a special meeting of CARICOM heads of government to discuss responses to the COVID-19 pandemic, take place on Wednesday, 15th April, virtually. President of the Ayanola Council for the Advancement of Rastafari, Aaron Alexander, as such, is advocating that the heads of government, particularly the chair, use this opportunity to advocate for the relief of Caribbean countries from former colonizers.
In this time of endless human suffering, health crisis, economic crisis, and rampant death and hospitalization of the mass of its citizens, and after so many years of colonialism and domination and exploitation, and after so many years of demanding reparatory justice, the Caribbean and African countries can wait no longer for this justice. We are now faced with a humanitarian crisis of epic proportion as we face the pandemic of the coronavirus, COVID-19 as it is commonly called. The Caribbean and African countries have been fighting for decades for that justice, and it is time that we receive it.
Alexander says the chair should demand the cancellation of all debts from the first world countries such as the UK and the US to ensure that the Caribbean's scarce resources are used to effectively combat COVID-19.
The Rastafari community therefore takes this opportunity to demand of the CARICOM leaders, in particular Prime Minister of Barbados and current chairperson of CARICOM, Honorable Mia Mottley, to lead that charge, to put a case forward to the European Union, the United States of America, and the United Kingdom for the immediate implementation of total debt relief, cancellation, and forgiveness for the Caribbean and African countries, so that the resources can be used to combat this pandemic more effectively.
Mottley indicated that the meeting will afford the opportunity for ideas and experiences to be shared among member states as they try to determine the way forward.
Ask that we meet on Wednesday, April 15th, so that we can share ideas, share experiences first and foremost. I'm speaking to you not just about saving lives, but also sustaining livelihoods.
Alexander says CARICOM should take the initiative one step further by seeking compensation from China for the unleashing of the virus that continues to disrupt and destroy lives of African and Caribbean people. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzague.
Thank you, Genevieve. Officers attached to the Gros Islet police station on Tuesday took a decision to shut down KM2 Solutions Massad call center after assessing that it had failed to adhere to COVID-19 safety protocols. The call center was reopened shortly after dialogue between KM2 Solutions management and multiple government agencies on the subject of operating protocols. The president of the Police Welfare Association, Travis Chico, had this to say about the situation. Quote, "As a welfare association, we almost daily implore our members to undertake their duties without fear or favor and to at all times do so lawfully. Having been apprised of all the facts in the reference matter, we are satisfied that the officers in question followed the law, observed all of the established protocols, and sanctioned the entity as provided by the guidelines under which they operate. We congratulate and stand behind our members for a job well done." End quote. The Police Welfare Association also encouraged supervisors and senior management of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force to support the men and women under their command, especially when they execute their duties without fear, favor, or prejudice, and within the law. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sharon Belmar George is cautioning that St. Lucia is still at a very critical position in the staging of its COVID-19 fight. She says members of the public need to be reminded that the threat of COVID-19 still exists. As of Wednesday, the 14th of April, St. Lucia continued on partial shutdown and on a 10-hour curfew from 7 p.m. to 5 a.m.
We need to be reminded that the threat of COVID-19 still exists. Some of the national protocols include stay at home as much as possible unless it is for food or medical purposes. Avoid mass crowd events and social gatherings. Practice physical distancing and good personal hygiene. The public is also advised against going to public places with flu-like symptoms, including fever, cough, and sneezing. When visiting the supermarket or public places, wear your homemade mask and refrain from touching items unless you intend to purchase them. Although hardware stores are open in an effort to facilitate household emergencies and increase water storage capacity, the public is reminded that we are still on national scale down. Only leave your house for essential goods.
He further advised members of the public to boost their immune systems by ensuring that they are eating healthy while at home. That includes a diet made up of fruits and vegetables, and also she says it's necessary to get exercise at home and in your yard. Keeping a good immune system will reduce possible chances of developing COVID-19 if you were in contact with someone who has it. The National Council on Public Transportation, NCOPT, is questioning what the government really has in store for its members. Vice President of the NCOPT, Michael Flood, is trying to reassure the members that engagement is continuing with the government and there are more measures to be rolled out. $1.1 million for drivers is not an accurate picture of the rescue package announced by Prime Minister Alan Shastney in the Social Stabilization Plan in response to COVID-19. So says the Vice President of the National Council on Public Transportation, NCOPT, Michael Flood. His comment came in response to questions from NCOPT members who question if the rebate is it. The president of the Cicero Minibus Association says his members are duly concerned.
Yeah, well, right now there are members of questions, and me as the president representing them, so we want to clarify a couple of things that are going on. Because I heard the Prime Minister's speech, which was very good. But he spoke about the 1.1 million, right? But as far as we know that 1.1 million was already owned to us. So right now they want to know what is it that we're getting for the coroner, because right now we're carrying 7 passengers, which we understand we're going through a crisis. But right now we want to find out what it is in place that for us, because of the coroner, as we're going through the coroner.
The NCOPT Vice President assures that there is greater relief coming.
Okay, whilst I understand why bus operators will be concerned as to what is in the stimulus package for us, because I am part of the system, I want people to understand that the pronouncement made by the Prime Minister with reference to the $1.1 billion is just a tip of the iceberg as to what is in there for us. What was agreed between the government and the National Council on Public Transportation is because this money they've been owing us this money for a while. What they will do as a matter of diligence, release that money, whilst the National Council on Public Transportation is engaged with government in negotiations as to the best way forward to assist the public transport sector.
Flood says everyone is feeling the pinch, and the NCOPT is fully aware of the sacrifices being made by bus operators and drivers.
We have associations that have not worked in the last 2 weeks. We have 2 weeks. who cannot leave you for to cast you 7 persons. And again, you have the cutting of how you call it, the zoning of the country, right? They have not worked for 2 weeks, and they have not complained because they understood what is happening.
The NCOPT Vice President says it is not the right time to put pressure on government to the benefit of just the public transportation sector at the expense of the nation. He says he fully anticipates that the fuel tax will go a long way to assisting the public transportation sector and the rest of the nation as well. You're watching the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Still to come, the U.S. President halts payments to the World Health Organization and takes the body to task. The Ministry of Education seeks to reassure parents that virtual learning will cater for all. And a veteran journalist adds his voice to ongoing debate about the various stimulus packages rolled out in Caribbean countries. With that and more coming up after the break.